Biola University because it's hard to stand out as a radical on a Christian campus, you would think, but really it's not. All you gotta do is wear a crazy t-shirt that says X and then the sin that you used to commit, because nobody wants to talk about it. So I saw Apollos wearing these a long time ago, and I thought that was cool, like everything, but God really, really hit me a couple months ago. Actually, it was April 13th. The 12th was Good Friday, and the 14th was Easter Sunday. But Saturday, God really showed up in my life, and basically, through the t-shirts and through the testimonies on the website, I realized, like, I was not fully surrendered to Christ. Now, I've been a Christian, like I grew up in a Christian home, more or less. My mom was a Christian, my parents were divorced, so when I was with her, it was a Christian home. And I believe that I was saved when I was 15 when I gave my life to the Lord. But when I truly gave my life to Him, I was so ashamed of what I had done because nobody knew who I had been. Like, all my sin was in secret because I claimed Christ, I went to church, but my whole life was a secret. And I lost my virginity when I was 15. No one knew until I moved to Biola when I was 18 years old and decided I can't live this lie anymore. And so God really started there, but what happened was because He set me free from so much sin, masturbation, pornography, all that stuff, and He set me free, but I never testified to what He did for me. So He told me, like, 5 years later now, it's like, Stephanie, like, I set you free, but you are still a slave to the shame and the fear of what everyone's going to think of you, and really your pride. And He said, like you won't testify to what I've done for you. You want everyone to believe that you got here on your own, and you didn't. And in fact, I started to believe that I had got there on my own, because in order to deal with all the shame of everything that I had done in my walk, and not just shaming my own reputation, because that was shameful enough, but I was shaming Christ. And sexual sin in the world is not even that shameful anymore. But hypocrisy in the world is shameful. Like, it's shameful to non-Christians and Christians alike. And I was like the shame of that was so strong, and every day it just got stronger for years as I lived this lie. And I wanted to tell people so bad, but I just couldn't. Like, I was a slave to my fear and my shame. And so basically God showed me, like, Stephanie, you have not testified to what I've done for you, and you are stealing my glory. And people in your life don't know me, and all they know about Christianity is what your life has looked like to them, but you never actually told them what I set you free from and why you love me and why your life has changed. I would say I loved Christ and I would proclaim it, but I was still a slave to my shame. So committed to my shame that, in fact, I used to have nightmares. I say nightmare dreams that at my wedding, that my mom stood up and was like, I'm so proud of Stephanie because she saved herself from marriage. And I was like so committed to not ever having to tell anybody that I had lost my virginity because I was so proud of that. And I actually was going to tell my husband that, I'm sorry, sweetie, like, I'm not a virgin, but you're just going to have to let your family and everyone else believe that I am, because I can't tell anybody this. And so I was seriously going to take that to my grave with me, and God showed me, like, Stephanie, like, why would you want to live like that? Like, I set you free from this just so you could be and hold on to the chains of the shame. Like, Christ took all of that on the cross. Like, He didn't die just for the bondage of my sexual sin, just for me to be in bondage to my pride. And it was disobedience, because really I had never actually preached the gospel, like the true gospel of my life, to anybody. And so I was preaching basically a false gospel, leading the Bible study at my school, and because of that silence and that shame, like, in order to function, like, I don't know how all of you guys deal with shame and stuff, but like, if you don't deal with it with Christ, like, if you don't let Him take that, then you're going to deal with that in a worldly way. So you might struggle with depression, suicide, and some people cut. Some people drink a lot, right? Well, what I did is I didn't do all that because I was too good for all that. So what I did is I just forgot about everything I did. And I pushed it back to the recesses of my mind, so far back that I am not even kidding you guys. I asked Apollos, like, 3 months ago, he was wearing the ex-porn addict, or the ex-masturbator, and I saw somebody else with the ex-porn addict, and I was like, so what other shirts do you got? Because I seriously forgot that when I was 13, 14, and 15, I struggled with that so bad, and Christ set me free, and when he totally set me free, I didn't ever want to think about it again. I was silent about it, and I seriously, I'm just shocked to tell you, I seriously forgot that I even struggled with that. And it wasn't until the t-shirts, but it wasn't just the t-shirts, it was hearing the detailed testimonies. I know some people probably dog, like, why do you have to get into so much detail? Like, that's not appropriate. You shouldn't talk about all that. Our children might hear it. But the reality was that I needed to hear you tell me exactly what it was that you struggled with, because if I didn't, wouldn't even remember what I had gone through. Because I could never vocalize, like, just saying I used to masturbate, like, I couldn't say it, even though I had done it. And so, basically, like, God showed me, like, Stephanie, you are not fully surrendered to me. You say you love me, and you try really hard to love me and give me glory, but you're not fully surrendered, and you are still a slave to your shame, and you are more committed to that than me. And so, like, basically, he was like, you need to make a decision. He made it really clear. On that Saturday, he brought all those memories back. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I was in shock. I told my best friend, I was like, I have to get to this church on Sunday. Some of you guys remember the first day I walked in, you were like, oh, who'd you come with? I'm like, nobody, actually. I know Paulo's, but he's not here because he's in Honduras, so I just came in, I was like, I just need to be around you guys. And like, basically that was my spring break, and I wrestled for a week with God, like, God, like, I know I need to make a decision. He's like, you either need to fully surrender yourself to me or just stop calling yourself a Christian, because I can't use you, and I can't fully love you because you won't allow me to. And so basically, I came back that Wednesday night, I brought my best friend, and I bought a shirt, bought the ex-masturbator, and me and my friend bought the ex-porn addict, and we wore them at Biola on the Monday after spring break. And man, I tell you, if you think, like, if you know what God is gonna do when you are obedient to him, you wouldn't do it. Your flesh would talk you out of it. Okay, I'm serious. You wouldn't do it because, like, the cost is so great to your flesh. But it is so worth it, you guys. Like, before I had even wore that shirt on Monday, I started to try to share my testimony with a few people, and it was so hard. But by Monday, I'd already shared with like 10 people, and I had no more shame. Like, it was a miracle to me that I could wear the shirt. Like, because wearing the shirt, God was like, Stephanie, would you wear the shirt? And I was like, no, I won't do it. Like, I was wrestling so hard, but it was like, that to me was me fully surrendering to Christ. Now some of you, like, that might not be the same. Some of you might actually not need to wear the shirt because that would be pride wearing the shirt. Like, I don't know what you wrestle with, but for me, my shame was my Lord. And God was like, you need to give that up. And so he was like, basically like, you need to wear the shirt. And I wore it, you guys, and my 80-year-old teacher walking into logic class at 8:30, like, wearing an ex-masturbator, like, it was awkward because in the Christian world, you don't talk about masturbation, especially girls. Like, you don't talk about stuff like that, and I didn't want to wear that shirt. I wanted to wear this one, because this is easier, because I had already told people about that. But basically, like, God just moved, you guys. Like, I started telling people my testimony, and like, a girl across the hall tells me, like she'd been struggling with suicidal thoughts all year because of what she had done the senior year of high school. When she got to Biola, she thought everybody was perfect and nobody had struggled with anything. And so she was living in so much shame, she couldn't tell anybody. She was struggling with suicide, like, and because she didn't ever think that I had struggled with it, because I acted like I hadn't. And nobody talks about it until you break the silence, and God can actually be God and move in people's lives and set them free. And I've experienced it firsthand, and I'm so grateful for this church. I'm so grateful for you guys breaking the silence and for not letting your shame be your Lord, because for too many people, like, the church has shamed people into never talking about the sin that they struggle with. And it's detrimental. That silence breeds, like, that's deceit, and the devil is the father of lies. So, like, I was a child of lies, and God is the truth, but I couldn't even live in the freedom of the truth. And so I've never felt so free in my life. Cost me a lot. Obedience, you know you're being obedient when it costs you a lot, and you can still do it because, like, anybody can be obedient when it doesn't cost them anything. And so, like, man, like a bunch of my friends persecuted me at a Christian church. People are saying, you shouldn't be wearing that. That's too much information. Why do you need to parade around? Like, are you self-righteous? Like, you hear it all. But then there was those people, like my friend across the hall, who did not kill herself because she wore the ex-masturbator the week after and ordered it. And, yeah, I'm sorry, ex-fornicator. So, like, God just started moving. A bunch of my friends come to the church, like, people getting delivered, and I can't wait to see what God is going to do in Viola next year. So thank you all. Praise God.